I just forgot my intro again. Welcome back to, oh shoot, where did I put my keys this time? Where we talk about the most pressing of issues. Today's topic, my YouTube Shorts feed and how it's finally gotten me to crack. Every time I open up my YouTube Shorts feed, I'm bombarded with food videos that remind me of how all the good stuff is nowhere near me. Whether it be a bright neon drink that reminds me of Splatoon, or some viral fruit ice cream that's only in stock across the country. And quite frankly, I don't think I'm damn bad enough to go to Michigan just to try some fruit ice cream. I think. Luckily for me, a new grocery store opened up right next door and it sells everything I've been wanting to try and more. So join me on my next grocery run as we put to the test whether or not these viral foods are worth the millions of views that follow, or if I'm just a gullible little boy. So before we start, let's go over how I'll be rating each food I try. For each item, I'll be using a state-of-the-art rating system ranging from very good to very bad. Pretty foolproof if you ask me. The first thing out of my grocery list is the viral Korean pouch drinks. I've been seeing these all over my feed and I think I just like how the ice rattles. It brings a sense of wonder and makes me think, what's gonna be poured in this time? The drink being poured in is also pretty satisfying. Once at the store, I was pretty spoiled for choice. I didn't know whether to get a coffee drink or some bright neon drink. And honestly, I decided to go with this yogurt lemon popping pouch drink only because I couldn't afford to get more milligrams of caffeine or else. As a side dish, I complimented the drink with this nice little bento box I found, and as far as I'm aware, it hasn't really gone viral, but the guys gotta eat. Unfortunately, I couldn't justify buying a $2 ice cup, so we're just gonna use the one I have at home. And now for the thing we've all been waiting for, the pour reveal. So yellow. It was the most yellow 40 drink I had ever seen before. But what really mattered is how good did the drink actually taste. It was a little on the sweeter side, had a slight yogurty taste, which I kind of enjoyed, reminiscent of like a Yakult, and it was a little bit sour. I'm not a really big fan of the popping gelatin balls it came with. They kind of just pop and then it's over. If it had some gummy fruit, I would have placed it in a higher tier, but for now, I'm just gonna place this in good tier. Yeah, it was pretty good overall. As for the bento box, it was an enjoyable side dish. The rice was soft, the egg patties were savory, the meat was a little dry, and looking back on it, I got a little bit worried seeing these little white scraps on it. I don't know what they were, but overall I enjoyed it as well. While I was exploring, I kind of got lost and stumbled into the ultimate noodle aisle. Now, I'm no noodle connoisseur. Yet. But if there was any place you want to go for noodles, I feel like this would definitely be it. A few noodles caught my eye, particularly this Jin ramen noodle, since it had BTS Jin on it. And I also found this one other pink bulldog noodle that caught my eye. It looked pretty good. Hold on. Why is the bird wearing a bikini? What type of office meeting did they have to have for them to approve this gorgeous design? Oh my goodness, why? Opening up the noodles, they did feel slightly plasticky, but I suppose that's normal for glass noodles. I skipped adding boiling water since I didn't want to wait 7 minutes for it, and after adding everything, it looked a little tragic to me. But like any other bulldog pack, it was spicy as hell, and even with half of the sauce packet in, it was still so painful. The noodles were really chewy and it was kind of hard to bite through, so I think that was my fault for not adding some hot/boiling water. The flavor itself wasn't bad, but it got drowned out from all the pain I kind of felt while eating these things. I ended up giving bulldog a second chance and got this carbonara rice noodle things. They're like this. Felt like it wasn't a fair shot since I messed up the steps on the previous one, so I wanted to give it a second chance. I also added some mozzarella and green onion this time since I see all the viral videos end up doing that, and this one was really good. I actually really enjoyed this one. I enjoyed the cheesy taste that came along with adding the mozzarella, and the green onions were, I guess they were nice, I suppose. So overall, I'll put the carbonara in the good tier, and I'll put the glass rose noodle ones in okay, since the taste still wasn't for me. I preferred the carbonara ones overall.
Turn on the hood vent for the smell. I like to eat it very simply with just rice and eggs, and watch out for any fish bones.
So I was low-key excited for this next recipe. I've never tried mackerel before, but I've been wanting to expand my fish palette lately, and I think this is a good opportunity to jump on in. The recipe calls for a pinch of salt on both sides, and due to personal preference, I also added some black pepper. I know, crazy, right? Also, I found the design on mackerel to look really good, so whoever designed these fish, honestly, they did a pretty good job. It reminds me of like an underwater tiger, super cool. Cooking the mackerel is pretty easy. It was just 3 minutes on each side. I also tried to make a omelet on the side as well, but ended up just making this puffy egg. So, and to round out the meal, I added some rice, seaweed salad, and some oolong tea, which I was also trying for the first time. At first, I really enjoyed the flavor. It was a pleasant surprise. I didn't think I would end up liking it that much.
Low key, this is actually pretty good.
It was savory, salty, fatty. The pepper helped bring out that savoriness, I think, or maybe I'm just making that up until the fishiness kicked in. I really wanted to like this, but the fishiness was so overpowering. It kept on coming up throughout the entire meal, and I have to give thanks to oolong tea because it kept on resetting my taste buds, so it would basically help diminish the fish taste. I looked it up, and apparently mackerel is known for being overly fishy, but I felt like this was an unfair test. I didn't want to lower mackerel score just because of its fishiness, so I decided to do another test, this time with milk, as I heard that would help with the fishiness, and also I heard it was better to grill it outside, but I kind of fumbled the bag with the charcoal, so I had to grill it inside anyways. I also added some soy-based dipping sauce, we'll see later in the video, wink wink. And overall, everything combined really helped with the fishiness. I really did like the mackerel way more this time. It was really enjoyable. Now, don't get me wrong, the aftertaste was still there. It didn't go away completely, but I think it was way better with the sauce, and I don't know if the milk really did that much, but either way, I think I'm gonna give this mackerel a very good. I definitely recommend it.
Rice wine.
Now it was time for the drink that got me ID'd. The drink that I thought was just some regular old strawberry milk. It was this Macchioli, I think it's called. It's some pretty fancy strawberry milk. It was in the soju aisle, which I didn't realize. Strawberry milk has gone viral in the past, so that's kind of why I picked out on this one. But what really interested me the most after getting ID'd was pouring this cup into a little glass of Coca-Cola that I found in the pantry. There was also this nice smaller glass I found, but the Coca-Cola looked a little bit nicer to me. So let's enjoy this pour together in silence. Wow, wasn't that amazing? So how did the fancy strawberry milk taste like? Drink responsibly. This is just a taste test. 3% alcohol, so it shouldn't be that strong, I hope. I don't know, I'm not much of an alc drinker to be honest. So let's see. Honestly, it's not that strong at all. Kind of tastes really sweet like the strawberry. It had a slight beer aftertaste, and the strawberry flavor was enough to mostly overpower it. And also, since 57 grams of sugar wasn't enough, we have an undisclosed amount of sucralose added to the drink as well. Overall, I rate this one as okay. I don't really have much to say about it, but it wasn't too strong, so that helped.
And then finish it off with some fresh lemon juice. It's really simple, but it's so delicious.
Call me Squid, because I'm a calamari. This recipe was another simple one on paper. All I needed to do was butcher these giant ilex squids, but unfortunately I lost all the footage, which is probably for the best. So all you had to do was cut the squid into calamari pieces, coat them in flour, then almost start a fire in the deep fryer, and then cook for 2.5 minutes at around 375 degrees. I covered one basket with Romano Parmesan and one with red chili flakes, and then squirted a bit of lemon onto both. It had a strong sea taste, not like fish, but like a deep sea ocean breeze, I'd say. I don't even know what that means, but it was a little tough, not unchewable, had a good crunch, salted nicely, but I really couldn't get over the Blue Lagoon taste. It just kept on coming up. I could have used the wrong squid, or probably more likely is I didn't tenderize the squid, prepare it well enough, and I ended up with this thing. I honestly fumbled this recipe so badly, and it wasn't worth the time I had to put into butchering the squid. Anyways, I'm putting my version in the very bad tier. Calamari is usually so good, but I strayed off the recipe so much I can't even rank the original one. Let's hope the next item in this list isn't as bad.
Trying the viral peach ice cream.
Moving on to something sweet and exciting, let's go over the viral fruit ice cream. In this case, I got two. I got the peach and lemon flavor. Let's start with the peach flavor first. It sure looked cool. It had a chocolate shell on the outside and was spray painted over to give it that peach jazz. And honestly, the fruit ice cream just looks so fun to me. It actually just looks like a peach. Biting into it, the ice cream had a milky taste with a creamy texture and a slight peach aftertaste. Honestly, it was kind of more like a milk sorbet than a peach ice cream. Kind of made me wonder if any peaches at all were used in this ice cream. This is definitely more for those who enjoy wanted their treats to be on the less sweet side, but for me, I would have liked a little bit more sugar. As for the lemon ice cream, this one was pretty similar to the peach. There was more of a fruity taste though. It actually tasted a little bit more like lemon than the peach one did like peach. It got me wondering what the ingredients were like, and so I decided to take a deep dive by looking at the back of the label. I couldn't find any mention of peaches on the peach ice cream. There was some artificial flavoring in it, but nothing about peaches. On the other hand, there was mention of lemon concentrate in the lemon ice cream, but it kind of left me with some more to be desired. I wish they would have used a little bit more peach flavoring. I also couldn't find any mention of chocolate for some reason. There was artificial mention of chocolate, but they didn't use any real chocolate in this ice cream, so the whole dang thing was artificially curated. For their rankings, I'll place the peach ice cream in okay, and I'll have the lemon one sit comfortably above it.
The lazy Xiaolongbao.
Now it was time for the last course in the video. It was time for me to make the viral soup dumpling bowls. Honestly, I wonder how viral these recipes I make even are. I had some high hopes for these dumplings because they look so cozy and it's winter, so I wanted something to warm me up during this cold winter season. All things considered with global warming. All it consisted of was lean pork mince, salt, and of course, black pepper. You gotta love the black pepper. Sweetener, garlic, sesame oil, soy sauce, Chinese cooking wine. Then I just needed to throw them in a small ramekin, cover it with some chicken broth, and then top it off with a dumpling wrapper. I steamed them for 10 minutes and they kind of wobbled a worrying amount,
Why is that shaking like that?
but they cooked through thankfully.
Oh my gosh, that's hot.
They did come out a little bit par drowned. Still though, after I topped them with some green onion, they looked pretty good to me. The broth was really good. It was savory, toasty, had a rich undertone, and I really gotta thank Norboin seasoning, or whatever it's called. I always use this for chicken broth, not sponsored by the way. The wrapper cooked well. It had a soft, chewy texture and ripped through easily. Unfortunately, the same couldn't be said about the pork mince. It was pretty firm. I messed up the salt to meat ratio, and I think that had some play in it. So if I fixed that, we would definitely be golden. I'll place this recipe in good tier, and I'll put my version in the okay tier. If I salted it more, this would definitely be way better. Also, I think having a higher fat percentage would have made it a lot more soft and also tender. But then again, this is meant to be a high protein, low calorie ratio, so you kind of just have to work with the leaner cuts. Bonus recipe time! I actually ended up using the extra pork mince to make some dumplings, so I made dumplings for the very first time. I took some slow motion video on accident. This reveal looked really cool to me, so let's appreciate that please. But what made the dumplings even better was eating them with the dipping sauce I talked about earlier. I took this recipe from inspiration online. I forgot where I took it from, but if I remember correctly, the ingredients were soy sauce, white rice vinegar, some chili sauce, sesame oil, green onion. Yeah, I think that's it. I'll tally up the points to see how correct I was. Wow, doesn't that look beautiful? Oh my goodness. Wow, that looks so good. I gotta make them again. So overall, how good is the food we tried today? Yes, we, me, and you. Well, it was mostly good, and I think the lesson we learned today is that trying new things is a path to enjoying something we never knew we would even like, even if it's only because it went viral and appeared on our feed while we were scrolling. I probably wouldn't have tried the mackerel in the first place or even this dumpling soup bowl, so definitely appreciate having that appear in my feed. One thing I do regret is not making more of the dumpling bowls and instead making a whole bunch of dumplings, but now I can make a dumpling bowl whenever I want. I have the recipe down. I just need to remember to add some more salt next time. Anyways, Happy New Year or Happy Christmas whenever this video comes out. Happy holidays.